Hi guys and welcome to the show today. If you are someone who enjoys watching car reviews with a little bit of sense of humor and a little bit of wit, then please subscribe to this channel. Now in today's video we've got the all new Baleno for you. Maruti is calling it the new age Baleno, the tech loaded Baleno, because this car really has a lot of fancy features. And before getting inside the car, let me just address the elephant in the room, and that of course has been safety for a long time, because a lot of you in the comments write about the safety of the Baleno. But that said, this car is the best seller, one of the best sellers in the Maruti range, and Maruti says that every 3 minutes one new Baleno is sold, which makes it one of the best selling cars in India. It was also the fastest car ever to reach 1 million sales, and that's not without reason. Now talking about the safety kit, this car on the two top of the line trims gets 6 airbags, ESP, as well as hill descent control, which of course you get on the automatic version. So that's something which is very good about this car. And of course cruise control is also part of the kit, and of course you get 16-inch wheels on these top trims. So that's of course talking about the safety. In terms of the overall structural rigidity, Maruti Suzuki claims that they have improved that as well, and this car is much more stiffer than the outgoing model, and they've also used high tensile strength steel on this car. So in terms of the build quality, it should be better, but we'll check the build quality once we get inside the cabin. We'll shut the doors and just hear that noise. Let's talk about the looks of the car. On the exterior, what do you think of the looks? You can let me know in the comments below, but I think it looks very smart and very posh. The front end with this headlamp treatment, this top of the line version gets of course projector lamps and multiple elements, and Maruti Suzuki is calling it the next tray design. Now they say that this grille, which is really long and also quite wide, along with this chrome finish and these headlamps, is something that is going to be the design language for future Nexa cars as well, and of course it might also flow into Maruti range, but this is of course going to be the future look of Maruti Suzuki products in India. Lots of chrome just above the fog lamp housing as well as over here, and a lot of sculpted elements on the bumper as well. I think the front end looks very smart and very polished. In fact, if you look at this car from a distance, it looks like a Ciaz. It really is that upmarket in terms of looks. You can let me know what you think in the comments section below. Now let's quickly have a look at the side profile as well as the back profile. But before I forget, let me just tell you that there's a camera here just below the Suzuki logo, and there are 4 cameras in total on this car, one here, one at the back, and 2 in the mirrors, and these cameras help with the 360-degree view inside, where you can see a bird's eye view of the car, something which is very unique on this car and in this segment, and of course helps you when you're parking in a tight parking slot. Well, so talking about the tires on this car, as you can see, these are 16-inch tires, and this of course is the top of the line version, so you get this smart finish of the alloy wheels. The one below this trim also gets alloy wheels, but they're not as smart looking as this one. And of course the Delta and the base version get plain wheels and only 15-inch tire. This one is the one which gets 16 inches. The side profile, you also get indicators here in the mirrors, and of course a lot of chrome is used over here to give it a posh look, and the door handle also is chrome to give it a nice and upmarket look. Overall, the silhouette from the side on is similar to the outgoing car, so it is basically built on the same model as the outgoing car, so you know it looks very similar, and that's something which I think all of you agree on. The back end of the car though, again very familiar looking design, because you get the same treatment for the main lamps, but of course now you get an extension into the boot lid, and of course these are nice elements inside, a lot of elements inside the main cluster, and the chrome bar which was there in the earlier car is also there, and as I said, you get this rear view camera which was there in the early car as well on top of the line versions, but this one of course uses it for the 360 camera. What do you think of the looks? You can let me in the comment section below. I think looks very smart, very posh, and even this shade of Nexa blue is slightly different from the earlier car and definitely makes it look very sporty indeed. Now let's quickly jump inside the interiors and talk about them, but before that, one big negative of this car, well, that big negative is that you don't get a sunroof. So if you are someone who is very keen on a sunroof and you want your car to have a sunroof, you're spending about 9-10 lakh rupees, then I think this is the end of the video for you. You can watch something else, but of course if you want to know more about this car and all its features, the elements, the space and stuff like that, then jump inside with me and I'll show you the interiors of this car. Well, I'm sure by now all of you are aware that Woodmo are the online expert when it comes to spare parts, and the best point is that they have the spare parts for all vehicles available in India. So even if your car is out of production now, maybe you have a last generation model even then they have the spare part available, they have the entire catalog, and the best point is that they have the same spare part from a host of different component makers, which gives you great flexibility in the pricing overall. So check them out today, check out the app, it's available both for iOS as well as Android devices, and also check out the website for the latest schemes as well as offers. Well, so I'm inside the cabin now of the all-new Baleno, the new age Baleno. Now, if you don't want to know about the car because it doesn't have a sunroof, you can watch some other video. But if you want to know all about the new changes and everything inside this car, do subscribe to this channel. Now, what is new on the car? Everything has been changed. It's a complete model changeover, FMC, full model change. Let me just show you the interiors first. They look really classy and very posh and very upmarket. And the highlight, of course, is this 9-inch touchscreen. Very nice to navigate through. You of course get a lot of connected apps with the car now. You get the Suzuki Connect app, where you can of course check out a lot of things on your mobile phone, how much fuel is left, what distance it can go, as well as turn the car on and off, and of course geofencing, etc., seeing where your car is parked. So all those things are now available with the Suzuki Connect app that is available on the Baleno. And as you can see, it's quite a nice app, and also the screen over here is quite nice to use. Easygoing screen, and the colors are good, the fonts, the menus, everything seems to be quite sorted out. The top of the line versions, this one and the one below it, come with this screen, and the Delta version comes with a 7-inch touchscreen. The older version of the car, that same screen is available on the Delta version. And the other highlight, of course, is this HUD display, the heads-up display. This displays, of course, the speed, the revs, as well as the time and the gear the car is in. And I have to say that sitting inside a car which is, a hatchback and under 10 lakh rupees and getting these kind of features just makes you feel very nice and very positive about yourself. I'll switch the car off now. I switched it on just to show you this display over here. Apart from this, the other big highlight, of course, is the 360-degree camera over here. As you can see, you get a bird's eye view, so you can easily park your car. And we have some other cars around us, and as you can see, the camera is showing that car behind us as well, glimpse of that car. So it's very accurate, very good to operate, and quite a nice setup, and really something that a lot of buyers will appreciate, especially those of you who live in tight areas, where parking is really very tight. Apart from that, in terms of safety kit, you get 6 airbags, ESP, traction control, as well as hill hold descent. Other than that, in terms of the overall safety, you get 6 airbags on the top of the line version. You also get hill hold assist on this version. ESP also is standard, as well as cruise control. So these are features which definitely give it an advantage over its other rivals and really make this car feel a lot stronger. Maruti Suzuki also claims that they have stiffened up the chassis, so the build quality definitely feels slightly better than before. We'll check that out now by opening the door and shutting it. And yes, it does feel one notch up in terms of the overall quality levels or the sound levels. It doesn't feel as tinny or as, light as before. So definitely some kind of strengthening has been done, and tensile strength steel also has been used, which is one notch up from the previous generation car. Overall, nice place to be. The seat comfort also is very good. Very generous seats in terms of holding people of large proportions in them. And someone who is, of a wider girth like me, even I am quite nice and comfortable. You get an elbow rest over here where you can easily sit and put this car on cruise control and drive like the boss all day long. Quality levels also have gone one notch up. So overall, it feels like a very premium and posh place to be in. Maruti was falling back in terms of the overall equipment list and features list compared to its rivals, but now they're right up there and back in the game. Now let's jump in the back seat and see how good that really is. Well, so let's quickly show you the interiors of this car, the back seat, because a lot of you who are buying this car will buy it just for the back seat experience. And I have to say that the Baleno has always been great in terms of space at the back, and this one is just as good. Now, the seat cushioning has been improved, and you can see that the seat now is better in terms of the comfort. The backrest angle is quite good, and the support for your under thighs as well as the lower back is quite good. And what you also will appreciate is the fact that knee room is more than sufficient. The front seats have been raised up slightly, so you get plenty of place to stretch your feet. If you are about 5'10" like me and your shop is also the same height, then you will get plenty of place over here. Maruti's finally launched AC vents at the back, and you also get 2 charging points. You get a USB regular type and a type C over here. So that's something which is for the next gen, because they always have their mobile phone. And of course, you get a pocket over here where you can keep your mobile devices. Or of course, if you want to charge it on a long distance journey, you can easily plug it over here. And once you've plugged it, you can always keep it over here in this little tray. Now, talking about the tray, as you can see, there's a bit of a hump in the floor panel. The earlier car had a completely flat floor line. This one has a slight hump. So whoever's sitting here will just have to negotiate a little bit more to get better space for his feet. Overall, though, still a very good place to be, lots of space, and I think this is the best car in this segment for sheer space in the back. If you just want a car for the backseat experience and you're planning to buy a premium hatchback between all its other rivals, then the Baleno definitely has the clear advantage. Well, so here I am driving the new Baleno now, and this car comes with the same 1.2 litre K series petrol engine like before, but again, just like the exteriors, the interiors, the engine also has been upgraded. And of course, you get it in dual jet along with dual PVT technology now, which means that fuel efficiency has gone up slightly. And not only fuel efficiency, but you can also feel that refinement levels have gone up slightly as well. Now, the engine has always been great in terms of overall responsiveness. Now, this engine has always been great in terms of responsiveness, especially the lower end. But one thing which I feel that Maruti should not have done is introduce an AMT gearbox instead of the CVT. The CVT gearbox on this car was really very nice to operate. It was a very smooth gearbox, easygoing gearbox, and just felt like a very well-mated gearbox with this engine. It felt like a natural alliance between these two. Unfortunately, the AMT isn't as good in terms of the hierarchy. In terms of gearbox hierarchies, you always get torque converters first, then CVTs, then dual clutches, and the AMT really is at the bottom end. But that said, this AMT does work very well. It already is doing duty on a host of other Maruti cars like the Swift, the Desire, as well as some other cars in the range. So it's a tried and tested gearbox with this engine. And I have to say that even on the Baleno, it works quite well. Now, the reason Maruti introduced the AMT instead of the CVT is because of cost efficiency. They wanted to save some cost. And the CVT gearbox was the only gearbox, or rather the CVT technology was only used on the Baleno in the range. So obviously it helps Maruti save cost, which ultimately means that you end up saving cost. So how is the AMT gearbox in terms of the overall performance? How is the gear shift? Well, I have to say that unlike a lot of other AMT cars in the Maruti range, the jhatkas or those lurches when the gear shift aren't as pronounced on this particular version. There are some, jhatkas and lurches when you really want quick acceleration, but they're not as pronounced as they are maybe on a Swift or maybe some other cars like the Wagoner and other cars in this range. So that's something which Maruti engineers have done very well, addressing the big jhatka issue. And talking about jhatkas, let me just say that this car's ride quality also is quite good. It has a relatively long wheelbase, which does help soak up those bumps and potholes. And apart from that relatively long wheelbase, you also get decent tires. 16-inch tires, Apollo tires on this car really do work very well. They offer you good levels of grip. And even though it's not a car which you can really call a keen driver's car, enthusiastic car, because these cars are really meant for middle-class people, but even then, there's some fun to be had in the Baleno. The steering wheel offers you very good and positive communication. It's very accurate, and what's also nice is that it does come back to its dead center position. Some Maruti cars, they don't have a steering wheel which come back to their center position. That was also another cost saving which Maruti engineers had done, but not on the Baleno. It does come back to its center position, and it's also light. You can easily use it with your little finger. Shouldn't do it, but that's something that you can do on this car. Other than that, what is nice about this car? Ride comfort is good, engine refinement is very good, fuel efficiency has gone up quite well, and the overall cabin isolation also seems to be quite good. We've driven this car today across Goa. We drove it up the hills, and even on those small hilly sections, the AMT gearbox was performing very well. The technology works very well. The downshifts are quite good, and it works very well with this 1.2 engine. And even on the highway, you never really feel like you want to put it in the manual mode over here. Of course, if you do put it in manual mode, it does take a second to change gears once you, of course, push it or pull it, the gear lever that is. So it does take a second to respond. But overall, quite happy with the overall experience of the Baleno. As I said, if you're a keen driver, there is something in this car for you. You'll be happy driving it, and definitely it's not a boring car to drive. It's not a car which will make you go to sleep, unlike some of its rivals. This really is a car with which you can have some fun once in a while. And grip level from the tires are good, ride comfort is good, it does soak in the bumps very well, noise isolation is very good, and the engine refinement really is first rate. The best engine in the petrol segment at this price point. Anyways, I give this car, in terms of driving department, a strong score of 9 out of 10. Well, so overall, Maruti Suzuki seems to have covered all the bases with the new Baleno. It definitely is a big improvement over the earlier car, and I can see a long waiting period on this car. It comes with a very refined and fuel-efficient engine. It offers you good space and comfort in the back, and now it also offers you good technology. And in terms of safety also, Maruti has addressed all the issues because it offers you 6 airbags as well as other features which improve safety. So overall, a very strong product and a very good all-rounder, and definitely it's now at the top of its game in the premium hatchback segment. It's bye for now, and thanks so much for watching. Well, so if you have enjoyed watching this video, then please subscribe to this channel by clicking over here or below. And also, if you want to watch more content, you want to watch some videos about its rivals, then those videos are flashing over here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.